Hello and welcome. Sorry for the brief blackness. There's some weird caching issues with this, and I forgot to wipe it before starting the stream. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done this setup now, so there's a few problems which you'll discover along the way with us, but you have the full complement of us this week. So myself, Barnaby, James, and Wally. So welcome to DCO, and we're trying to set up TLS for our console cluster, so we can get that nice little
Before then, problems.
Yeah, the servers are also not happy about us being away for so long. So we have one.
Just one of them.
What's the error on it? It's been turned off for too long, essentially, and is refusing to connect to the cluster because of it.
The error is the server has been offline for more than the configured server rejoin max age, which is 168 hours.
Yeah, so this is kind of in there to stop the console servers getting out of sync with each other, or kind of if it gets too far out of sync, it's like the information I have is not relevant, and I'm not going to try and rebuild it. So just what we're going to do is we're going to wipe it, and we are then going to rebuild that one server. So the way we're going to do this is using limits in Ansible, because we don't want to wipe everything. The other ones are working fine, so we're just going to wipe this one server with a limit and then pass the var to it in there. So -L for limit. You probably don't want the space. And so extra vars.
Yeah, I think it's -E or -extra vars. I can never remember. Too many tabs to get down. Nope.
Looks happy. See if it wipes.
I don't think that's how you do extra vars.
It's going to fail the health check if it, regardless, because it will expect 1, but if it works, it'll get 5.
So
it did, guys.
I did. So the doc suggests you put the extra vars in quotes, but that's probably just if there's any spaces or anything.
Yeah, be for strings and special characters. Trues. I wonder if you'd put 1, whether it would have taken it.
Or yes, probably.
Yeah.
Or that weird Ansibleness.
Okay.
So this will hopefully be a server up.
Yeah, it should sync back up into the. Oh, will it be able to get the encryption keys and stuff like that? I guess
what's the port number for console again?
5000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's currently giving the same hour. Oh, it started.
I wonder if it will just spin up in its own cluster to begin with before it gets networked into the other ones. I have a feeling we might have to run this twice to get it to rebond into the quorum, because it might get its own encryption key.
Should I just run it for everything then?
See if it rejoins. I'm curious. If it rejoins, we don't need to, but I have a feeling that it's not going to sync with the rest of them.
It's on its own for now.
Yeah.
Because it might. I wonder if its retrying join block will be wrong as well, because it's running against the whole group.
Well, try running all of them again and see what happens. If not, luckily today doesn't require a full healthy cluster. It just requires one server, so we can look into this another day.
Yay! And then call it another Part X, TLS Part X.
Well, this isn't TLS. This is server config. This is what happens when you turn off your server for 2 weeks.
I think a lot of the issues that we have would be solved by having a sort of remote state, essentially, for variables and stuff that needs stuff like the TLS certificates and encryption keys. So when we get Vault up and running, storing that stuff in Vault in a secure way so we can pull it from there, have a single source of truth, because at the moment it's just distributed on the servers. So who answerable can't pull it from anywhere centrally. So if you're just running against one, it will struggle.
Yeah, if 4 was the one that stored all the keys, then it would fail because 4 doesn't work anymore. Sorry, server 0, which is IP address 4, for some reason is working. And yeah, that's a problem for another time. But luckily we made 16, which is giving us back up to the 5.
Not that we have to be exactly on 5.
I mean, that's the reason why you spin up 5, is even if we've lost one node, we still have 4, which is still a good redundancy.
So a redundancy of 1. I think they will
the main
elect a leader if they have less than half of the expected nodes.
I mean, the main problem is it's running on a server in my shed. If that server broke at some point, we lose console. Which is where we could have a console node in GCP, and one in Wilei's house, and one in Barnaby's house, and link them all together.
I'll finally have a good use for this.
It's getting to winter. I could do some extra heating. Get that server powered up.
It's just the loudness of it. That's the only reason why it's outside. Is it's got 5.
Right.
Well, no, the server I've got, it's got 5 tiny fans, which makes such a racket.
We need to find someone with some nice like CNC tooling, and then we can just make some custom water blocks, and you can water cool your server. Be nice and quiet.
What's interesting, while this is running, it's interesting about the server is the biggest thing is like airflow over the entire motherboard, just because of how much I/O gets run.
Like VRM cooling and stuff like that.
Yeah, that actually that's the far more important part.
I wonder if it failed there.
One of the nodes isn't happy.
Yeah, 8, 7. Oop.
More errors.
Yeah.
Oh, you lose the.
Yep.
Is that just spitting out a debug of some of the variables, or is it?
I think this is one of the health checks. Hold on. Oh, I can't even tell. Oh, yeah. Well, we just have to guess. It's a good thing we know where it errored at some point. 7 and 8 gave us an error. So
Yeah, so it's saying that was saying that of the 9 nodes that are running, only 8 were happy. Can you try run it again? But I think either wipe everything or we just go, that's weird, and move on, because I would like to try and get TLS sorted.
Yeah, I guess try it
that'll
on.
be a dream come true.
Yeah, try wipe all and see if they come back happy, and if they don't, I guess there's not really much more we can do at that point.
I mean, delete turn off the ones that aren't happy. TLS is like one server. Well, I suppose we need 3 in the pod.
Who
really,
said yes
one
early
server.
on? Sorry, who said yes early on?
I said yes early on.
Oh well, let's find out.
I was going for 1 was my curiosity.
Oh well. Don't worry, yours will be next.
Hopefully we don't have to wipe it that much.
I have just a picture of someone going into a server farm and ripping out VMs and go, I don't need this one anymore, and throwing it away because they can't wait, it's not configured right.
That would be nice. Ah, there. Okay, let's see. Does it wipe then? But then again, if you didn't like the word yes, would you have not thrown an error already?
It would have wiped data to the string yes, and it's whether it can convert that into truthiness.
We're about to find out. Also, do we need to update console in a minute? Are we still on the latest version? Ooh, that worked. Yes, worked.
There's probably been a new release, I guess HashiConf.
Console
Next
is
version.
now 17. It's an RC for 17.0.
I haven't
So-
quite got it out in time.
Yeah, maybe wait another couple of weeks for them to GA it, and then. Why does Google think this console page is in Romanian?
Are we not listening to me?
Nothing changes if I tell it to translate this console releases page from Romanian.
Oh, okay. Look at this. So wiping it worked because now
Sweet.
16 is joined.
I'd be worried if the
Which is
full
5
wipe
for the
didn't.
one. Yeah. Okay. On to TLS then.
Not yet. Let's wait. There might be an error. actually, we plan on ignoring the error, right? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no,
I
there's
mean,
the
going to
fact
be an
that-
error.
This is arbitrary error.
We'll find out because there's always something wrong. But to be
There
fair,
is always something wrong.
I'm happy to ignore this because in a production environment, you wouldn't be turning off your server for days anyway. So we wouldn't have this problem.
You also wouldn't
That's
wipe
like-
it when it didn't work.
Why not? There's nothing wrong with it. We have,
Wipe all data, delete.
we have backups. What are you talking about?
If you had a
But
DR site, then yeah.
if this was production, what we'd probably have done is set that max age to infinite, so this problem never came up. Like if you did have a use case where the server only needs to turn once every month or two, there's probably things you can do instead.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see green. We're good.
Yay.
Oh wow, guys. Okay.
Sweet.
I'm surprised we can actually get going without having to leave something behind.
It's only taken 15 minutes, but time to start. We're actually planning.
Welcome everyone. Today's session we're going to cover HTTPS. Okay. Hopefully, in Barnaby's words, as usual, we should be done in 5 minutes with this part. And then we'll be able to take this part off, and then we're just gonna ignore the rest of this for now, so we can move on to other fancy, no, important work. I wouldn't
Should
call
we-
them fancy.
Always be optimistic with it, but never specify exact time frames is the mistake you made there.
My apologies.
It'll be
I'm still
quick.
learning.
Quick can
still
be
learning.
multiple streams.
Yeah. It shouldn't take too long.
All right. So, are we creating a new role for that?
Where do we bind TLS to? It should be, I guess it'd be the listener. It would be the listener for. It's not that TLS. That's the server to server encryption. So it would be server, I guess, because the client won't need to present for the UI.
Yes, yeah, it's just a server thing.
Yeah. So in template the server. This should be simple. Like if we have signed certificates, that's gonna be the tricky bit. You for would it be in the listener block, I guess. Yeah, your address block would probably need to change to HTTPS.
Isn't there somewhere where you do HTTPS true or something like that?
It might be SSL true. Let me.
So within God, I'm trying to look on the actual docs. It's just not. So this is about console as the problem is console has so much TLS stuff you can do.
Yeah,
Console to console UI.
You can do. I think you can just swap HTTP to HTTPS, but then.
Do you know what? I also have.
Yeah, under addresses, swap that to HTTPS, and you can give it an address to listen to with that, and then if we specify HTTPS, do we need? Interesting. It's not saying we need a cert.
Yeah, it's where we pass in the Cert.
Hold on. Just gonna check one of my code in here for Terra.
This is the problem with like the tutorials over just the docs.
Terraform, templates, server, console. Yep, console. Here we go. Advertise address, console server, encrypt. Do we have that? Encrypt?
No. We've got verify things, address. I think address is needs to be HTTPS instead of HTTP. Unless it's going to use the CA cert and CA file we've done before, but I assume it won't.
I guess the HTTPS and run it, and it will probably give you an error. And if it does, we can do some.
It'll tell you what it wants.
Yeah, you can just do console validate and give it the config file, and it'll tell you what's missing.
Okay. So, can one of you check what encrypt does as well?
You can also encrypt or encrypt.
No, just encrypt.
Okay.
Because in this example here, it's a JSON file. The server, no workstation, console, leave on terminal, protocol, verify, join.
God, they make it hard to find console like basic config. Okay.
We can have a TLS block, which it says the TLS section documents all the configuration that applies to agent TLS. Agent TLS is used by HTTP API, internal RPC, gRPC, and DNS interface. Some of the settings may be automatically applied by autoconfig or auto encrypt.
You think that's what we want?
Yeah, so you'd have a TLS object, then within there you have defaults, then you have CA file, CA path, or cert file, cert file and key file.
And then you change the addresses HTTPS.
Yeah, TLS min version.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So suites, verify incoming, verify outgoing, and gRCP HTTPS.
So, what do you guys want me to do?
So add a block, change your address to HTTPS instead of HTTP. And then I guess beneath that, add a TLS block. And within there, you want defaults.
Do you want defaults or do you just want HTTPS? Because defaults will hit everything.
I guess we could just do HTTPS.
Because this will hit gRPC and like all the internal ones.
Yeah, just put HTTPS then and see how that one goes.
So just HTTPS in there, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I guess, do you want CA path or CA file?
Path. Well, no, sorry, we've done file below, so we should do file.
So CA file, cert file, and key file. And then the rest we don't really care about in there. So the other options
they
are
can be
TLS min version, cipher suites, which I'm not even really sure what it is, but do you know much about TLS cipher suites?
The fact that it gives no information, no.
Yeah, verify incoming, verify outgoing. TLS, the min version, I think defaults was it to 1.2. There's one level higher, which is 1.3 min version. Does it give us any more about cipher suites?
So cipher suites is like is the type of encryption. So like this has like SHA-256, AES 128, that sort of stuff.
So your HTTPS is another object within your TLS block.
So what do you want me to do here?
We want cert file, CA file, cert file, and key file. And then I guess we need to generate some certs.
So in the example I'm looking at, this is actually being done on the bind address. So
Bind address.
yeah, bind ADDR. So they have something like this. Hold on, I'm just gonna paste that in here for the. Here you go. So this is how they have it. So bind, and then come out ports, and then verify incoming, verify outgoing, like this. Auto encrypt. Obviously, this is in JSON format, though, but yeah.
JSON and HCL aren't that different.
No, I'm just saying because of we're using equal to here, and they're not. So right. Also, see here where it has ports as well.
Yeah.
So where's our port? Open to the side. There you go.
Yeah, so they're doing it at a root level. They're not using. That's not under bind address. That's a root level. Those CA cert files is like what we've got already, line 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
So they're not using. So that's for internet communication, and then they're probably using the same for HTTPS. Whereas we're going to set up our own for HTTPS.
All right.
Unless we want to mess with passing around these PEM files that are on the server. But I feel like we want to make a CA for what DCO does that we can pass around in a maybe better way.
I think for all external kind of communications from a service, you should have a certificate that's managed not by that service really, or managed from a central source in your organization. Because then when your organization sets up, you just distribute one CA file out, and then everyone can use those certs will be used to connect internally and be trusted. Whereas if everyone's trying to manage self-signed certs and distributing CA files, just becomes a nightmare. So setting this up makes sense.
Maybe we'll end up saying something like Venify at some point just to manage our self-signed certs.
Do it with Vault, use PKI. PKI
yes, true. Damn, we need a Vault server set up before we can.
Does Vault sign its own certs though? That's the question. You probably could get it to work. It'd be messy, but
I mean, of course it can. It just means you get the server up on HTTP, then you sign it all, and then you set it up. Or you do, I think if you do HTTP to, I think there's a way of getting it so it's only loopback, so only internal from the box you can talk to HTTP. So like Ansible could then run the command to sign the certs, which then HTTPS would then use.
Do you want to add the CA blocks to the HTTPS? Are we going to generate the cert through Ansible, or are we going to give it to?
I think this should be I think we should generate it separately, and I think we should I think we should almost generate the console cert separately, because then so we're not having to pass the private CA anywhere. Or if we really want to, we from the private CA we generate a on-prem intermediary, and then from that intermediary Ansible can create the certs. But if we're going like best practice, like you should be using like CSR things and kind of things we can't do. I mean, I would use Let's Encrypt if the server was anywhere near connected to the internet, which it's not. Well, it kind of is, but
Let's not fiddle with that now.
Standard internet traffic cannot reach the box, which means Let's Encrypt won't work.
We should probably set up a different directory within that TLS folder for external certificates, or potentially one higher up, or at the same level as TLS style. We tempted to set one up under console D, which is just external TLS.
Yeah. Well, are you happy?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at the Hashi page, the GitHub page. There's so much information on there. They have
go read the source code.
No, they have docs on there, but then the docs have docs, and yeah, it's just, I don't know.
It's all rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But we have a vague idea of what we're going to do, so let's
let's
go
with
ahead.
that. Yeah. Wow. Ah. Alright, they even have a make file in there. Let me see what the make file does.
Well, stop getting distracted.
Alright.
Make file will be there to compile console.
Yeah, I just want to see what it does. Anyways, so what am I doing? Create a file somewhere, right?
So for have it in the certificates in a different directory to TLS. When you want to call that directory, I'd probably go with something like external TLS, but you'll need to change it in the config file, as we haven't put those things in variables yet.
So we want TLS/external, right?
No, it shouldn't be a subdirectory. It should be at the same level as TLS.
Not. Oh yeah.
Because if it's within TLS, these certificates may need to be readable by processes which aren't console. So if they're in the directory that contains the console TLS certs, you'll need to make that traversable by other processes, which just is introducing unnecessary, unnecessary attack surfaces into
So I'm not
configuration.
I'm not going to suggest this now, but what we should do another day when we're dealing with this separately is the server certs. The CA private key should be in a centralized location that is then injected into the server's CA bundle. So the server trusts the CA. We don't need to do it now. Thought for later.
We don't have a central location yet to put it in any case.
But I mean, we could just make etc/devcast ops. Like that can just be a arbitrary location we decide. But this is fine for
now. Quick question. I've variabilized this part.
Yeah, we should replace all of those with the external TLS star, and then with your CA files, do the same thing, because we have the other one variabilized as well.
So Yeah, what's the format again for this?
Bracket,
Double curly
bracket.
brackets.
Curly brackets. Okay.
Yeah, variable name, close curly brackets.
I don't remember.
Instantly forget what you call that.
Yep.
I
I
mean,
do the
copy and
same
paste, so
thing.
you'll get it wrong.
All right. So I think this. Ooh, we need to change this as well.
Yeah.
Anyways, yep, 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 and then this one would just be the TLS.
What this one's called?
It's TLS stir.
Yeah.
Yes. I remembered.
Maybe you came up with the name.
This is all your code.
Our code.
It's turning communist, are you? Everything's shared.
Shared responsibility, guys. Shared responsibility. All right.
You haven't asked us to to review your PR yet, so
because we are all reviewing it live right now. All right, etc console dear. Nah, this is fine. There's no need to change this one. Anyways, yep, that's it. We're done. We're good.
Now we have to make a CA.
Let's see. Group boss. Where were we? Da-da-da.
how
I
confident are we going to be about making a CA, or are we just going to
I
quick and dirty
don't
this with
think-
OpenSSL?
So I think we should use OpenSSL. Like I don't think I don't think this code should control the CA. And we should do it in a way that hopefully means that the stream doesn't see the private key, which it shouldn't. I don't think.
Even if it did, we'll just redo it again privately
Yes.
for the sake of demoing. Because
Now
we'll
the
have to
question
wipe
is,
all
how
of
do you
this.
make? How do you make? Well, the thought for this is this CA will live on. Will live forever. Will live forever for however long we decide to we want to rotate it. Because installing CAs is a pain.
Why do we want to have the CA? Do we want to just have it on the console servers, or are we going to have something else for it? It should really be its own server. But it might be worth just running the commands to generate certificates now to prove.
Yeah, let's get it up and then we can worry about how we're storing it. But I think writing with Ansible doesn't really make much sense.
Do you know your OpenSSL command to set up a CA?
Are we doing it in the server server task, or are we doing it within TLS itself?
We're just going to run the
it
command.
Yeah, so it should be a separate process. When this is sort of set up and working kind of the full system, Ansible will reach out to a data store or a intermediary and just pull certificates that way. It won't.
I mean, if you wanted to, you won't be able to log in. I was going to say we got a Raspberry Pi, which is sitting around, but while I won't have access to that.
But you have access to my Raspberry Pi. That's already set up and ready to go.
I mean, like we just need something that, like the correct way of doing it is we, on a different server, install a CA, generate all the certs, and then copy the certs from that server into the console.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah.
But it's how we. I mean, you should use. Or you can use CRS. Can you do that manually, or is that just like far more complicated than it used to be?
Can't remember. It's whenever it gets sort of setting up CAs and stuff, things get very kind of complex. It's another kind of entity on its own. need the time afforded to it to get that point.
All right, so here you go. We can go into here. All right, we're on the pi 0. So do you want to generate on this one?
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. Come on.
So you need. Do you have OpenSSL?
Yeah, I
Yes.
do.
This one says OpenSSL gen RSA
And
RSA one word RSA space dash DES3 space dash out and then space file name dot key. Well, this is just devcast ops, isn't it? This isn't
Yeah, this should be a parent CA.
or DCO. And then after that, 248 there, 2048.
no dash.
No dash.
There's some funny
what?
sorry.
48.
Yeah, there's some funny rules about distributing like military grade encryption. You're not meant to do it. So a lot of software, when you send the binaries you download, will use a lower bit encryption by default, because if they send the full like 2048 as your default encryption level, it's considered sending military level software between countries.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Do you guys want to?
You should set up a password probably. You should probably generate one with 1pass.
All right, let me just make sure I'm sharing my screen properly so you all can see the password. All right, so let me just see what I can do.
I think I've heard enough stories of people leaking AWS credentials that I'm forever paranoid now whenever I'm sharing a screen or demoing.
I've had it happen with I streamed an AWS thing, and I don't know why. I thought I was pretty good with like how I managed it, but like next thing I knew, my bill was like crazy high, and I had to go out going, "I'm sorry, someone got into my account. Can you like not charge me 10 grand for 2 days worth of uptime?" But AWS is pretty good and realized that people are idiots, and they would rather good like publicity and like if they were like, no, you've got to pay 10 grand, I would never touch AWS again. Like you would never be able to make me touch AWS again. Whereas it's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine.
It's pretty
Riley's now paranoid.
Yeah, lower consequences for sharing a pass key to a CA that we can destroy fairly easily, as there's no child certificates.
So you've now got a pass key. We now need to generate a root certificate. This command is quite long. So it's OpenSSL space REQ. No, you don't need any of that. Space dash X509. Space dash new. Space dash nodes. Space dash key. The name of the key. Oh yeah, space name of the key. Dash SA. Sorry, SHA 256. So SAH 256. You need a hyphen at the start of that. 256. Dash, and then it says days 1825, which I assume is how long the cert's valid for.
Yeah. How long do you want
dash
to go
days? Yeah, it works. And then dash out and the name of the PEM. So this is dco.pem.
Are we happy with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me generate a new password.
No, this is
That's
the
the
passwords for the key.
I was actually joking. I thought I would divert the attention to a new password in case, but oh well, that backfired. Oh,
You're just testing us. UK.
So this is the information for the so
country name is UK. State of province, London.
Yeah.
London, yeah. So none of this stuff really matters. It's just baking into the key.
Oh gosh.
London.
And again, you can play with the capital this time if you really want to annoy people.
Oh. Okay.
DCO or DevCost Soft. If you want to put the full name.
LTD.
No.
We're not a limited company.
Why not? Oh wow. Monday.
Root.
I think we can leave this one blank. Organization unit should be
It's
blank.
root.
Or podcast or root or yeah. I mean, I don't think any of this stuff really matters, but yeah, maybe someday it will.
Okay, now we're here. So what name do we have? FQDN, fully
So
qualified domain name.
this
Console.
is a CA, not what we're giving console.
Yeah.
So it'll be dev.
So this suggests just the your name bit. So you don't actually, it's not actually an FQDN. So this is not valid. So just call it devcast ops.
Not even .com.
No, yeah, not an FQDN, just the name.
Okay. Should we give it a real email address?
Yeah. Hopefully flashing the email on stream isn't going to come back to bite us.
Now that you said it, you're challenging people.
Okay. So we've now created a root CA. So we can now, so that PEM is the public key we will pass around, and the key is the thing we sign from, and that stays.
Is on this server.
Yeah.
Until we have a centralized location, I guess, if you wanted to store it in a secure location. But on a server that is then turned off is kind of the ideal place to store it.
So this is saying we create a CSR.
Yeah.
Does the CSR, do we create that on the server, which we then pass to the
It
thing with the
doesn't
CA?
matter where you create the CSR, as long as you give it the correct information.
So we should create it here and just copy everything across.
Yeah, we can create it here and copy everything across. Normally, people kind of create. Well, I guess normally a user will create it and then send the CSR to you, and you'll sign it on the CA. But as we are the user and we control the CA, we can't just generate it here.
Okay. So there's two commands you need to run. The first command is OpenSSL gen RSA. And then dash, and then dash out. And then this is the name of the server. So this is console.devcastops.key is what this is suggesting.
.key.
Yeah.
.key.
The key file. So we're generating the key and PEM pair. The key should be private and the PEM is public.
Oh, and then space 2048. Don't forget the 2048.
Do you want to just do a 16-bit encryption and
See how long it takes someone to break the key.
I wonder
Okay,
if the-
there is our private key made. And then the CSR. So it's OpenSSL, REQ, -new, -key, key file, console.devcastOps.key, -out, console.devcastops.csr, and then that's it.
We don't. Okay.
Then more information.
yeah, this way you'll care about the address.
This was a lowercase l. Might as well keep it standard.
Console. I guess would it still come under the same organization?
Yeah, stream is fine. This stuff does not matter. This is where it's console.devcastop. This is like the only line that
Yeah.
matters. And really, you shouldn't be using common names anymore. But
So
whatever.
console.
.devcastops.com. And this is probably wrong, so at some point we're probably going to want to change the way we're doing all this, but it's fine. This will prove that it works. Because I think you should be using sans, not common names nowadays.
Yeah, I think you use a combination of both.
Oh, probably.
Because you give a common name for the certificate, and then you can give alternate sans, which is what we'll probably want to do, as we'll want this one certificate to be valid for all of our servers. So if we load balance, you hit console.devcastops.com. It doesn't matter what the backend server is; they're all considered a valid endpoint for that entry point.
Oh, so we create so the next step I've read ahead is we it's a shame that it's not hiding. Like normally, like passwords get hidden.
I don't think there's a password. Please enter the following extra attributes to be sent.
Yeah, this is if you want to have a password on this certificate.
Do we?
On the CSR, probably not.
We don't really care.
No. So the next step is we need to create an ext file. So make a file called console.devcastops.ext. And instead of reading all of this out, I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, the ext, right? Like this?
Yes, that's what it said. That is the file that the thing I'm reading through uses. And I think we just have to change the DL names. So actually this file lets us do multiple, this does set up subject names.
I see. Anyways, now that we have this, what's next?
The file that I just sent you,
Yeah.
the code I just sent you, put it into that file and edit the DNS.1.
Okay. I have not opened it.
Sorry if you can hear my cat. She's being a bit loud. Wants some attention probably.
An annoying thing client side recently where was replacing some certs, put in SAN names, just put the host names in, not really thinking that much about it on like one of our dev servers. Which if it'd been production, it would actually have been fine, but because it's dev, it's hit for multi-region, and host names resolve in DNS in the local region. So in Europe, the host names will resolve to the IP address, but from outside Europe, people were trying, which they shouldn't really be doing, hitting the nose directly. So it was interesting because we found some people that were routing in a way they shouldn't be.
It's like, is this a bug or is this users doing bad things?
A bit of both.
Are we happy with this?
I think someday we're gonna have to sit down and actually like look into more into how SSH works. But for now, I just want it to work because we have 10 minutes left of the stream, and I hope this works. Oh yeah, next command. Sorry. We now do. Okay. OpenSSL. It's fine. It's a long one, but most of it's just the like words we know. R509.
You sure? Wait, just
Sorry.
R509?
REQ dash REQ. My brain just like getting ahead of myself.
I was thinking
Dash
X509.
Sorry, X5. But yeah, sorry. Before the REQ, X509. Wow, my brain is now failing. Dash
too many
REQ. Dash in. This is the CSR file. Dash capital CA. This is the CA PEM file. So dco.pem. Dash capital CA and then key lowercase.
Like this?
Yep, and that's the dco.key. And then dash capital CA and then create serial, all one word, but lowercase.
In here as well?
Yep.
Create what?
Serial, SERIAL. And then space dash out. This is console.devcastops.crt.
You not do as a PEM file?
Or PEM, they are the same. You can do .pem.
I think
Should rather PEM.
it's just all the other certs we generated that were the console
That's true.
PEM files. So
and then dash days. And then 365. You don't want it longer than the other one. Dash SHA256, so SHA256. And then dash ext file. And then the ext file. So console.devcastops.ext. And then this is gonna, and then that's it. Click enter. This will ask you for the PEM, probably multiple PEMs. So this is the phrase for the key. God, I hope this works. In fact, if we got it wrong, it's just a case of like, well, not enough time to fix that. Okay, so you now need to send the 2 PEMs and the console.devcastops key into the servers.
So you could potentially just copy them into your local directory and do a copy, a source.
That would make more sense. All right, which one of the files do I need?
The console.devcastops.key.pem and then dco.pem.
Right. I think there's secure file transfer or something.
SCP.
S what?
SCP.
Oh, I was going to suggest catching the files and copying and pasting them just off stream.
Do you know what? That actually is a lot quicker.
Like they're cert files, they're not going to be as long as it copies the wrapping correctly and while it doesn't show the key file.
Sorry. Now, before we move on, you just have to. So this is the one I'm taking.
That's one you don't want to show as well.
Yeah. And which one was
the PEM files? Both PEM files, and it doesn't matter if you show the PEMs.
All these PEM files, yeah.
Those two PEM files, you don't want the key in the middle.
Okay.
Though We are also getting to the end of the stream, so maybe while they can do this between streams, and next time we can do. I didn't realize generating the certs was going to take so long.
Yeah, but we still have 5 minutes, so let's see if I can.
Well, but the next step is setting up Ansible. You're not going to be able to write the Ansible code in 5 minutes.
Wow. Well. Well.
As much as I want this to work.
I think leaving it here is probably a good point because we've kind of shown all the TLS generation, and then we can come back next week and apply that to console. And in the meantime, maybe generation UCA because we shared the passphrase for it.
I don't know
It's
what
fine, we have all the commands now.
it's useless to keep anyways. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not protecting anything important, so it doesn't really matter what if we use it for now. And I guess if we're migrating the CA to Vault eventually, I would have thought at that point we'd just set up a new CA entirely rather than porting an old
But yeah, I
one.
mean, if this works, then we'll just delete everything and try and get it to work using Ansible, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we'll. I guess you can automate the CA, but for our purposes, we'll probably do it through another tool rather than doing it as just on the Pi.
So this is one of those. I don't think Ansible to generate the CA is worth it. You might as well just have a bash script that does it, because you have to run these commands once a year. Like there is a time versus setup, because at that point you have to install Ansible somewhere, you have to make sure it's all set up. Whereas actually, if you need SSH into the box, run your code.
So if this works, then that page you have, we just grab what we used from there, and that's it.
We just write a script. We just document in a README what we've done.
Yeah, you need to share that so I can add it to the README here. For the viewers, anyone that wants to know.
Add it to the YouTube description. It would probably be an
God,
easier
don't give
way
me
to
work to do.
That's why I say these things. It's not me that's fulfilling the promise. And now people know who to blame as well, and it's not there.
Oh, it's all me. It's all me. Maybe someday I'll point out from someone else, but for now, it's all me.
Oh my God, what happened? Oh, there we go. There you go.
Cool. I guess at least that's in the stream now, so people can pull it from there if we do forget to add it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how good it is. Obviously, we've not proven this works, but that's where I stole all the commands from.
Come back next week to see if what we followed actually works.
Yeah, maybe for the future, actually looking through the commands and going like, why are we running all these things? Because all this TLS-CA stuff is kind of an amorphous blob that kind of works.
Yeah, I know
which maybe would be good
that.
to learn at some point.
It's always something you can do more. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and hopefully you learned something. We kind of meandered our way across a few topics and a little bit of indecisiveness on which way to set things up, because with a lot of these things there isn't necessarily a right way, it's just the way that fits best your setup. So
got to make it secure.
Yes, there's multiple ways to be secure, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
So until next week, where you have the other half of the cliffhanger that we've left you all on, you can see whether this works or not.
It was going to be quick, he said.
Famous last words. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Until next time. Where's my mic?